Ooh. Hey y'all, I'm gonna in this video read some scary stories. I looked up, well actually there was a movie out, I think it's out right now. I think it may have been out for a little while. Scary Stories You Tell in the Dark. It's from a bunch of I think they're like kids books, I'm not sure. So I decided to look up some of them and kind of make a video of me reading some scary stories. I had never done this before, and I'm not. A lot of people tell me I have a great voice for narrating or reading or whatever. I don't know, but I don't think so. I never really was very good at reading in school. Actually, I hated it, mainly because I was super shy and I didn't like talking out loud, basically. But I always could read okay, just reading, but as far as like reading out loud, I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to see how this goes. The first one I was looking up, I found, I kind of scrolled through trying to find some of them were pretty cheesy, but some of them were kind of, kind of a little bit scary or whatever. So the first one I looked up is called High Beams. I got it on my computer over here. So I'm not going to be looking here, I'm going to be looking over here. Here's how it goes. As the woman drove down a deserted highway, she noticed a long pair of headlights quickly approaching her car from behind. When the car came closer, she noticed that it was going to overtake her. The car drew up beside her, but then the driver suddenly swerved back behind her. She started to get nervous and kept an eye on the strange car in the rearview mirror. He pulled up dangerously close to her rear bumper and then began flashing his headlights. The headlights dimmed for a moment. Then the high beams flashed again and the car began to surge forward. The car followed her very closely. On tight curves over hills, it would flash its high beams on and off. Then the frightened woman struggled to keep her eyes on the road and fought the urge to keep looking at the car behind her. Finally, she approached her exit, but the car continued to follow, flashing the high beams again and again. The terrified woman took out her mobile phone and dialed 911. When the operator answered, the woman screamed onto the phone, "A car is following me. He keeps tailgating and blinking his lights at me." The woman gave her address, and in a few minutes she saw the red and blue lights of a police car in the distance. She breathed a sigh of relief as she pulled into her driveway, but suddenly the strange car pulled into the driveway behind her and began blinking his lights on and off like a maniac. The police car screeched to a halt on the woman's front lawn. The two police officers jumped out with their guns drawn. They pulled the man out of the strange car and forced him to lie face down on the lawn. They handcuffed him as he screamed, "There's someone in her car! There's someone in her car!" The two policemen suddenly pointed their guns in the woman's direction and fired. The woman screamed, but when she turned around, she saw the bloody corpse of the murderer fall out of her back seat. There was a large butcher knife still clasped in his cold, dead hand. The police searched her car and found duct tape, a blindfold, and a pair of handcuffs lying there. The woman realized that the man in the strange car had been trying to save her. When the police released him, he explained that he had pulled up behind her car and his headlights lit up the back seat. He had seen a man with a butcher knife rising up behind her. Just as the madman was about to stab her, he flashed his high beams and the figure crouched back down. "I flashed my high beams every time I saw him raise the knife." Creepy. Okay. This next one is called The Hook. I've actually heard this one before. Kind of a little bit different versions of it, but a lot of you probably haven't heard it, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll read it anyway. One summer night, a teenage boy was going out on a date with his new girlfriend. He picked her up at her house and they drove out to the edge of town. They parked their car in a secluded spot there that was well known, called Lover's Lane. As they gazed out at the light of the town, the boy put his arm around the girl and switched on the radio so they could listen to some romantic music. He leaned over and the young couple began kissing and cuddling. Just as they were getting into the mood, the music stopped and the newsman read, a newsman's voice came on the radio. "This is an emergency. Earlier tonight, a crazed murderer escaped from the state mental institution. Police are warning citizens to be on their guard since the patient is considered armed and dangerous. The insane killer is nicknamed the Hook Man because after he lost his right hand in an accident, it was replaced with a steel hook. Everyone in the area should be on the lookout for the man fitting this description. If you see anything suspicious, you should report to the police immediately. The girl became frightened and asked to be taken home. She knew the state insane asylum was not far from Lover's Lane. She was also worried that the remote area where they were was a perfect spot for the deranged man to lurk. The boy was feeling brave and assured his girlfriend that they were perfectly safe. He locked all the car doors, then tried to kiss her again. The girl became frantic and pushed him away, insisting that they leave immediately. In a huff, the boy slammed the car into gear, spun the wheels, and pulled out of the parking space, burning rubber. On the way back to town, they calmed down, but the girl was still held tightly to the boy. When they finally pulled outside the girl's house, the boy got out of the car and walked around to the door on his girlfriend's side. For a long time, he just stood there staring at the door. At first, the girl couldn't figure out what was wrong. Then she realized that the door was still locked. She smiled and unlocked it. Still, the boy stood there staring. The girl was puzzled and rolled down the window. Then she saw what the boy was staring at. She was staring at the door handle. Slowly, she looked down herself and began to scream uncontrollably. There, hanging from the door handle, was a bloody stainless steel hook. Wasn't that great? I actually remember that from an 80s movie, Meatballs. Some of you probably remember that. You've probably seen it. Can't think of the comedian now.
That was enough for the guy. He slammed the car into gear, floored it, bounced off a tree, didn't stop till they got to the girl's house. Got out of his side, walked around to hers. There, hanging in the door, covered with blood, was a stainless steel hook. They never found the killer. Some people say he's still up here in the woods, waiting for the chance to kill again. And I say they're right.
But anyway, yeah, Meatballs. It was funny. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Hope you're all enjoying this. Hope you're all scared out of your wits. Scary stories. Ooh, yeah. Need a little drink. Okay, my next one's called The Attic. A man named Rupert lived with his dog in a house deep in the woods. Rupert was a hunter and a trapper. The dog was a big German shepherd named Sam. Rupert had raised Sam from a pup. Almost every morning Rupert went hunting, and Sam stayed behind and guarded the house. One morning as Rupert was checking his traps, he got the weird feeling something was wrong back at home. He hurried back as fast as he could. When he got there, he found that Sam was missing. He searched the house and the woods nearby, but Sam was nowhere to be seen. He called and called, but the dog did not answer. For days, Rupert looked for Sam, but he could not find any trace of him. Finally, he gave up and went back to his work. But one morning, he heard something moving in the attic. He picked up his gun, and he thought, I better be quiet about this. So he took off his boots. In his bare feet, he began to climb the attic stairs. He slowly took one step, then another, until he was finally reached the attic door. He stood out just outside the door listening, but he didn't hear a thing. Then he opened the door and... You'd scream too if you just stepped on a nail barefoot. Oh, wasn't that funny? Oh, lordy. I guess that's about it for this fun video. If you like this kind of stuff, want me to read some more of something or whatever, anyway, leave it in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you liked it. Hit the don't like if you didn't like it. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell. It goes dang, dang, dang. And I guess that's about it. Anyway, this is Labor Day. Hope y'all had a great Labor Day. Done nothing today, pretty much. Oh, God. I was hoping that would come out. I was hoping it would come out during the actual reading. But I couldn't get that belch to come up. But anyway, it's in there now, so hope you enjoyed that. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.